को एउटा जे भन्ने मात्र छ त म जे को हो अहिले जोइन गर्दैको जे भन्ने मात्र छ त को हो जे भन्ने
त्यो अर्कैमा गयो होला जस्तो मेरो पनि हिजो त्यही मात्रै आउँछ के हो भनेर के हो जाने तपाईँ के मेरो त के पनि आएको छैन यहाँ के हो
जे भन्ने आयो अनि सुभाष नेपाली भन्ने आयो होइन त्यसपछि यो को आयो
लिंक टु जोइन रे तपाईको लिंक टु जोइन
ए जोयोसा भन्ने जोयोसा पनि
जोइन चाहिँ कति हो 1 2 3 4 जना भयो के हो
ए भन्ने को आयो ए अभिभन्दा
Hello, everybody. I think some of you are still joining.
Hi,
Let me
Gaurav.
wait for it. Hi. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Gaurav. Good morning.
Hi, Pius. Hi, Subhas. Okay, let me wait for 2 or 3 minutes, everyone, and we will resume this session. Until then, you can start your VS Code without React. Just start your VS Code with JavaScript only. It means index.html and app.js only. Then later we'll see it with React as well. So first we are going to do some problems with JavaScript in the first half, right? And do you want to ask me something before starting this session? Do you have some questions for me? Okay, so let's start. Let's see first JavaScript. I'm gonna share my screen here. Guys, can you see my screen? Is it
Yes.
visible? Okay.
Yes.
Open. Yesterday I was here with React, right? Once again, I'm going to JavaScript. So if you just want to practice JavaScript, you can open plain server with JavaScript and HTML only. Maybe if you want to practice CSS as well, you can come here. And there is some technique to use CSS in React as well. We'll also see that. But first, we want to see some of the concepts regarding JavaScript only here. Okay. So let me open this one. Oh, it is already open, and let me open one live server with it. Maybe I will open one browser as well instead of this one. Let me remove this one. Okay. Okay, yeah, this was actually regarding yesterday, not working on remote. We'll see that regarding Qt as well. But let's see first JavaScript thing here. Alright, start your live server from here, and let's start doing it. I have some questions for you. I'll first attach that question. Maybe let me see if I can get it somewhere in Microsoft Team. Maybe in the general. Okay. Okay. So first I'll give you one question. Just try to figure out what to do there. What is the solution you propose? Then we will solve that question. Okay. We are going to do we are going to practice something regarding JavaScript arrays, as well as regarding JavaScript solving data structure and algorithm questions with JavaScript. So I'm starting with the popular one question here. Let me copy that one and paste it here. We are going to solve this one here first with JavaScript only. So just read this question and see if you can understand what it is asking for you first. Let me make it slightly bigger. You need to write a function that will check your parenthesis. So it is a parenthesis checker function. And what that function will do is it will actually provide you the result true or false. So the input of the function is such kind of parenthesis string, and output of the function is true or false depending upon the sequence of the parenthesis. Okay. Have you seen this question already somewhere? Tried to solve it before? It's a popular data structure easiest question. So mostly asked in interview as well. We are starting from here and we'll go until some of the complex questions. to practice some JavaScript concepts here. Okay, so what essentially you want to do here is you want to write a function. Okay, that function may be function declaration, expression, or arrow function, doesn't matter. That function will take the input. Okay, just store this input is this string, okay, or this string, and that string will be in that string will be a pair of brackets, or may not be the pair of brackets, for example, and that is a string, right? Or everything you write inside double quote is a string. It means your input may be empty string, your input may be only one bracket, your input may be two brackets here, your input may include as many brackets. It is also possible. So this is your input. Your input means brackets, and what you want to check is whether that bracket are actually properly nested or not. What properly nested means, in JavaScript, when you write object, when you create an object, right? Object, you will write this curly brace, and you will end this curly brace as well, right? You need to end it. So this is actually starting from here and ended here. So, or if you want to have some calculation like add two numbers together and later divide it by 2, what you will do is first put this in a small bracket. Let me add this two numbers together and later divide it by some number, maybe just an example. And if you want to do some more operation here, multiply before adding, then you will put one more bracket maybe and multiply it before adding. Okay, in JavaScript or in any other programming language as well, we'll use this syntax to multiply. Okay, and here I'm using nested parenthesis, which is valid, right? This parenthesis starts from here and ended here. This parenthesis starts here and ended here. If it is starting, it needs to be ended in their proper location. So such kind of parenthesis, the ending of such kind of parenthesis is important, because if you don't end this parenthesis here, it is not valid, right? It is only starting, not ending. So the inner one is valid, but the outer one is not valid. So you want to check such parentheses if they are parentheses or any other brackets, if they are valid or not. So what you now see here is this. Is this a valid pair? Can you say this is a valid pair?
Yes.
Yeah, the big bracket starts and ended. Parenthesis starts and ended, and outer curly brace started and ended. So if I write this in this way, now what do you think? Is this a valid pair? I inserted some curly brace there.
Curly inner ended started, bracket inner started. No. Oh, no.
Not a valid.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Which one is?
I think.
So let's go and see. The inner one is this one, and this one are opened and ended. This is valid.
I think there is one curly, closing curly is excess, I guess.
Yeah, there is extra one. Yeah, let's try to see. Let's try to nullify the valid one. This is starting and this is ended, means I'm going to delete this one. This is valid, that's why I'm deleting it. This is starting and this is started and this has ended. I'm deleting it. Now I cannot delete any other. Oh, this one is started and this one is ended at the end, beginning and at the end. So I can delete this one and this one, but here I have 3. So this is not a valid. This is started and ended, but this is coming extra curly brace. There is an extra curly brace. This is not valid. So what do you think if I copy this one here, and maybe I'll put one curly brace here opening one, and one closing one here. What do you think? Is it a valid parenthesis pair? Valid brackets pair?
No. No.
Yeah, it is not a valid one, right? This one is okay. The outer one is okay. Started and ended. Outer one is okay. But, oh, we have one extra as well. Let me add one extra. Let me add one ended one here. Now, is it a valid?
No.
It's still not a valid, right? It needs to be ended in their proper location. Actually, essentially, you want to check that valid pair or not. Why is this not valid? It is starting. This curly brace is starting. Why is it ended? Is that ending in the proper location?
It should be ended at the last.
At the last, right? But it is not there. Yeah, that is what you need to check. Okay, just see if you can write a function and you can implement this logic to check whether that is a valid pair or not. If you see in GitHub, this is a really popular question. Everyone starts solving their data structure logics from here. And eventually, we'll see some harder questions as well. Okay, guys, just brainstorm for a few minutes. And if you already have an idea, then let me know. Just share with us. How we can solve these questions.
Is it a question?
Yes, it is a question and you need to write a function. How will you write a function to solve this? How will you write a function for this one? Actually, it is asking you to write a function, right? How will you write a function that will take input, this one, and output either true or false, depending upon the valid pair or invalid pair? If you can write a function, then you can directly start writing it. But you need to first think yourself, how will I implement this logic? How will I check whether this is a valid pair or not? You need to actually know how will you write a logic to check such pair.
Okay. I think we have to count the number of the characters, I should say.
Yeah.
This counting
Okay.
would not be enough though, right? It needs to be in the right place too. So
No, first thing is to count.
And what will you do after counting the number of characters?
Then we compare the number of opening and closing parentheses or the curly braces.
You will need to know the location actually, right?
Yes.
Actually, that is the trickiest one. How will you actually track the location of these brackets? Whether they are starting, if now this is valid, right? Absolutely valid. But if I remove this one and write it here, then this is not valid. So
that's what I'm having difficulty.
Yeah, how will you track their locations?
Using an array.
All right. So yeah, using array. Actually, oh, let me tell you one thing. Okay, I think I forgot to tell you. Strings will sometimes also behave like an array. What I mean is, if I write console log directly here now, hello, and let me go to here. Maybe can I make it? I need to go move this down. And currently this is a string. So just currently what you need to actually understand is string, numbers, and all those other falsy values like null, undefined, 0, empty string, right? They are like a primitive value, or you can say they are like a single value. Okay, maybe we will later see what is the difference between primitive and non-primitive value, but they are like a single value, primitive value. But sometimes string behaves like an array. An array is like a multiple value. It is a non-primitive value actually. So let me store this hello in some variable called greeting. And what will happen if I just try to access greeting? I told you that this sometimes behaves like an array, means I can now access their elements, right? Let me try to access the 0 element of that array, because array will have their proper element locations by their index number. So will it work or will it not? If it is working, then what will I see on the output console on the browser? H, that is the first element. Index number is 0. Let's see. Absolutely, this is H. So now it is behaving like an array here. So if it is behaving like an array, we can do multiple things. If you remember, what you can do, can I destructure it? Let's try. Can I write first letter equals greeting? And this first letter is a variable which will contain H, right? Are you understanding this syntax? Line number 10. This is destructuring an array if this is an array. So let's see. Yes, we can, because this is an array now. So we can do anything that we can do with array. We can still map it. So what I can do is.
Can you explain why it's showing H? Because shouldn't you declare like the location of, or like the index of H? Like, can you explain line 10 one more time?
Line 10, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Can somebody explain this line before I can? What is happening here, so that you can, I think, better explain it. Somebody?
I think it's a destructuring first letter is H, so cons, and that array bracket gives the destructuring syntax. First letter would represent H, and it's coming.
I think he's asking why this first letter is representing
I understand
H.
now. So in line 8, greeting is set to the index of 0, which is H, and now you're setting first letter equal to greeting, and greeting is already H, and then you're just printing first letter.
No, greeting is not H. Greeting is this string actually.
No, I'm saying like line 6 greeting is hello, and then in line 8, you're printing the index, the H, which is at index 0, correct?
Right, yeah.
And then
line
in
number
line
8
10,
doesn't matter.
Huh?
Line number 8 doesn't matter. Don't look at line number 8.
Okay, I think the easy way to understand this one is that the greeting, it means hello, and here line number 10 const first letter. That means one variable is there. So one variable means first indexed. If we use comma second letter, then it will use index 1, the second index. So that way it will store.
And another thing is, this will not actually mutate. Mutation means manipulating this variable. It will not have any effect with this variable. It will not add h or remove h from here. It will stay the same. Whatever we have inside greeting is hello. It will stay the same. We are just printing the first letter here. We are not actually removing the first letter or accessing the first letter, taking the first letter out. We are just printing the first letter from here. So it will not actually impact it. Yeah.
So you mean when you say push or some stuff, array, this is not gonna work?
If you push, then it will actually affect this array. It will add something at the end. Means this array will change. That is called mutation. Actually, we are mutating, means we are changing the original one.
And
But
if you
here
delete
we
the
are
first
not.
word, can you not do that?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We'll eventually do that as well. But currently we are not doing that. It will not delete the first letter, this line.
So on number 10, if you take out the big brackets, right, then it would not act as an array, right?
This is not array syntax, okay? This looks like array syntax, but this is restructuring syntax if you write on the left.
Okay.
So you mean if I remove this,
printing?
right? This is how it is creating. This is a restructuring syntax. What will happen if I remove this array from here? What will we see on the console?
It's gonna say the first letter is gonna be hello.
Yeah, we are just copying it, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
We are assigning greeting into first letter, and it will just copy everything from here. But with this two bracket, we will just get its first element, because this is acting like an array.
If you do like first letter comma, let's just say like any variable you want, it would give the index of h, so it'd be 0.
If I write B, then you mean write like this, right?
Yeah.
So if I print B, then what will I see on the console?
E.
E. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will start destructuring, means it will now access the second index. Okay. Is this fine now?
What was the one where there was an example where you could print the value of that first one, and then the next line you could print like the index as well?
Oh,
I don't remember which lecture that was from, but I remember that was one of the examples.
okay. So you want to print index, right? Index of this one. So okay, let me introduce two loops here, and then you can start this question. Okay. So actually you can just do it with for loop, as well as there are two loops. They are important regarding your questions. One is for off loop, another one is for in loop. So these are two loops available in JavaScript as well. For const, let me write something x of greeting, let's say. And let's try to print what is that x. I'm going to comment this for now, just focusing on this syntax. So this for off loop, there is one for off loop, and there is one for in loop. Okay, let's first see what is the difference between these two loops. So let me save it, and can you see what is this giving for off loop? It is a loop, right? Loop, it is looping over this array. This is an array. If I say string and array, will you understand? It is behaving an array. So now it is actually looping over this array, and it is printing each and every value or each and every index of the array. Okay, fine. So this for off loop is printing. Previously we were actually using for loop, and we were actually writing there something like this, right? We were passing I, and each and every time we were printing their values. Now we don't have to do that. We can directly print x. You can say x element, each and every element of this array, and print element each and every time here. So HELL 2 times and O are printed in the screen. Now let's see what will happen with for in loop. Now let me print it once again. And now, what are you seeing here? What is this for in printing?
Indexes.
Index.
Yeah, for in loop will print index number of that array, starting from 0 always, right? Index number will start from 0. You can now try to print array itself here as well. Console log, and you can write greeting X. Will it work? This is index, right? You can say index here. We are printing previously index. Now we can pass index here and it will print value each and every time because it is looping. It is this line number 19 and 20 are executing how many times? 5 times. So each and every execution, they will give their corresponding value with this line as well, right? Line number 20. We are now accessing actual value here. Now this line will give index and this line will give value. Let's see. Yeah, 0 is the index and its value, 1 index and its value, 2 index and its value. Actually, regarding your question, you can simply use for in loop to print index as well as values. There is another yeah. Let me quickly show you another one and then I'll come back to you. Okay.
Sure.
There is another index. Let me see. Index of function in JavaScript, which you can use. Let me go. I just want to see the example. Yeah. So you can just write index of and the letter, and you'll get the actual index of that particular letter. Let's try this one. Okay. Let's try. Move here, and what you can do is console log, directly console log here, and write index of, and you need to actually attach it with your string. The string is greeting, and index of. Now, which letter you want to use? Let's use this E here. E here. Now, what will you think this will print on the console? Line number 23.
1.
Should give 1 because the index of E is 1. Let's see. Yeah, it is giving you 1. And this is another way to find index of any element within that array. This will be sometimes helpful while you are tackling real world situation. Yeah, somebody is trying to ask me. Yeah, what was your question?
I have a quick question. So I'm just trying to understand, like referencing it with Shell and Python. So usually, like in Shell scripting or Python, like we do like for suppose for item in dollar items, like we do like that, right? So is it necessary in JavaScript, like you put like after for loop, like you put constant index in greeting, like is that the way specific to JavaScript?
Yeah, that $sign is used to create variable. Why is that $sign used in Python?
Yeah, same way. Like if it was like a Python or a Shell script, it would have been like for index in dollar greeting. It would be like that. So is it the way that we write in JavaScript? Like, so we since it's a greeting is a constant or like a variable, so we use constant index in greeting instead of index in constant greeting.
Right. We are creating variable here, so we want to specify what type of variable is that. So later, if you want to actually manipulate it, we can use let here as well. But we don't want to manipulate the index currently. That's why we are making const. This is the same way actually. This is the same thing. We are creating variable with constant let keyword here. It is affecting to this variable. Okay, just try to do that as well. For example, try to manipulate whatever variable you have here with constant let, and let will allow you to do that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, these are the concepts. I think 3 to 4 concepts. One is that your string is behaving like an array. Now you can use any methods of array, even map, right? You have greeting.map here available with array, right? And map is taking higher order function inside a function, and let me console log each and every time whatever I am getting here, that is, let's say EL is element, and I'm printing that EL each and every time. Now, if I print with this line, oh, it says map is not a function. So with greeting, right? Oh yeah. So not allowed to do that. Let me first print maybe okay. Actually, we can create array with another syntax as well. So let me see, new string. We can create a string as well with another syntax. Now, if I do this, actually I cannot do this last line because let's see, what is this greeting? Yes, now it is behaving like an object here. So if I go here, that method is not available within object. Oh, sorry, within that string. You can see the available methods. There is some difference, okay? If whether that is becoming like, still that is becoming like an array, I told you, but we cannot use all of the methods available with array here. You can see slightly different methods are available with strings. That's why I'm not able to use this one because it is not available within the prototype here, prototype chain. Right here. So you can see what are the methods available within the prototype chain. We'll try to use them as well within our practice sessions. So now what I did here is created an object. Previously it was acting like an object. You can see instead of array, you can see object as well because they are same thing, different implementation. So either you can create your string in this way, or you can directly write hello here. So yeah, if you want to see property, we will use this new keyword. And this is like a constructor function in JavaScript, something like that. No need to worry about it. This is the default one. You cannot write anything else instead of string here. You need to write a string. If you write array, it will create an array from there. And if I now save, it will work, the last line, because this is exactly array, right? So that's why it wasn't working. So all of the methods available in array are not available in a string. That is what I want to say here. All right, and this is the different in syntax to create a string as well. But you can just create your string just by writing this old one, hello only. Okay, now can we go to our question? Any can we move to up? Any question until now? So let's go there. Let's go here and so anybody have any idea how to solve this question?
I was thinking backward and frontward, like from front and back both. Maybe that helps.
Could we use a stack, like okay. Use an array as a stack?
Like if I have to do.
Absolutely, yeah. First array as a stack is an absolute solution, yeah. What was that another solution, Nissan, I think?
First of all, I will check the length of the array to the even number or not. If it's not even, then the condition will be true, false.
That is one check actually, but that is not always.
And then I will get the indexed number, like the first curly braces. Then I will compare with the last one, like if the first, like in this example, curly braces is in first position, it means index number 0, right?
0, right.
And I will compare it. First, I will get the, if it is curly braces or square braces or the bracket. And if I get any of them, then I will compare it to the last position.
But how will you know what is the index number?
I think if you go up to the closing bracket and then compare the previous, like last opening bracket, and if they are matched, and then maybe need to pop out from the array and keep on comparing.
Yeah.
If I have to check, then if index number 0, if I get some value on index number 0, then I will track it by its length and minus that index number. so that I will move to the last one. And if I maybe that's
then how will you know where it is going to end? Right? You can track this one and this one, but what about?
Yeah, I'm telling the same. If I have to now move to the second index number, then it's like 0, 1, right? So the one index number should be compared to the second last one, right? So I have to check it like the total length minus the given index number.
This one should be checked with this one actually, because these are the valid pair, right? So if you are going inside, this is the index number 1 and this is the index number 2. You need to check index number 1 and index number 2, and if they are same, then they are valid, right? Am I correct? You are saying you will check this second one with second last one, right?
Yes, and then pop out the 2 in value from the array, and then go to the next, and then check the previous one. Is there opening? If they match, then pop out them and keep on comparing.
Yes, I think that will actually work. I think previously somebody told me about stack. Is that Alan? Alan, I'm saying your name correctly? Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are talking about something like stack. Can you elaborate
like
a little
using
bit?
like a stack as an array.
Oh, did you tried solving it already?
No, I didn't try solving it yet. I'm just working through it.
Okay, yeah. So, and the guy is saying to pop out. Yeah, that is also correct. So let me show you what that means, pop out means. So here we have the pair, right? This one. Now, what you need to do is, like Alan said, you will store it in stack. Stack means just a location, just a place. You need to store multiple things. That's why we are calling that array a stack. Stack means an array where you will store something. So currently we want to store their location within that array. Means we will actually have some location. We will take array within JavaScript to store multiple things, right? And what we will do is, first let's start from here. So let's only store the opening bracket somewhere in other location. Let's see. Let's take this out here and put this in other location. Maybe cut it, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, just directly pasting it. We can store it right in an array. So this is also opening bracket, and let's take this out here. Actually, what is the logic behind it? Is just start popping and pushing and popping. Means if you push this to an array and if you push this to an array, these are opening, that's why pushing, right? Now this is closing. Let's start popping. Popping means let's take previous one out. The previous one was this, and this 2 will cancel the effect. This is opening one, right? Let's actually put this in a stack, means in an array, and now we are here. Actually, essentially, we need to use loop here. That's why this is opening and this is closing. Now they will cancel their effect. This is gone. Now finally, this is opening and this is closing. This will also cancel the effect. Finally gone, and our array will have nothing. If our array is empty, we can say that this is a valid parenthesis pair. If our array is not an empty, we can say that this is not a valid. Let's say what I was saying is, let me try to explain it one more time. I have this pair, right? So I will take the opening one. This is opening one, this is opening one, and this is opening one, right? 3 opening characters there, parenthesis. And I will take this out, opening one out. You can take something out of an array, right? Can you? Or can you actually copy this in other array? Means we have your one empty array here. Let's create, and you can call it stack, and this is empty array, and we start from here, looping from here. We'll take this and put this here in an array. Okay, you can actually put it as a string. And one more time, and we are here now. We are looping over this string because this is a string, right? We can loop over this string. Now we will take this out, and we will store it in an array once again. So this is opening, that's why we are storing it here. Now here is the closing one, right? Here is the closing one. Now we will take out the previous one that we stored here, because we saw the closing one. Whenever we are seeing the closing one, we will take this out. So here we have the closing parenthesis. That's why we will remove it from array by using pop, right? Pop will remove something from array. Is that right?
1 second. So once you have stored it here and you see the closing, you check with the last index, I guess. That's what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I'm deleting the last value of that array.
Because if it was a closing bracket now for a closing regular bracket, right? Then this would not match, so this would just fail. That's what I'm understanding.
If you see carefully here, you will never have another bracket which is closing here. You will never have such bracket. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you,
yeah, please.
I mean, this is for if you have one, because you want to check the sanity of this.
Yeah, I will not take it out. If I have other one, for example, if I instead of this large bracket, if I have this small bracket, then I'll not take this out.
Or you will not even take it out.
Yeah. I'm taking everything out to make it empty. If that is not empty at the end, then our pair is not valid. You can say.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So if you see closely here, if you go in depth here, always whenever the inner one comes together, they are always the same. Opening and the closing, they are always actually together here, right? That's why I can take that out here. It means now I was here initially, now I was here, that's why I stored it here. Now I am here in the third index. Now third index is the closing one. Let's take the previous one out, because I need to also check if that is matching or not. Okay, I cannot directly take this out. I need to check if this closing one is matching the opening one or not. I need to have one condition there as well. Otherwise, I will not take this out. So at this position, when I am within this third index, I will first check whether this third index is the valid closing pair or not for the previous one. I mean, I need to check this third one with this one, essentially. And if that is the valid pair, then I will now remove this one from that array. Okay, now let's go to the fourth one. This is opening one, right? I need to store it here. Opening one. Now this is completed. Now I need to go for this one, fifth index. This is the closing one, right? I need to compare it with the previous one that I actually stored it within that array. I need to compare whether that is the closing one, that closing one is actually the valid pair of the opening one or not. Valid parenthesis, you can say valid bracket of the opening one or not. Essentially, what I need to first do is create object, something like you can say obj or map, and you need to store the opening and the closing pair together. Means, let me have one. Can I write a property with this one? I don't think I can write. You cannot write a special character as a property here. If you want to write a special character as a property, you need to store it in a string. Now this one is mapped with this one. Later we will access this one. Now let's try to access first map. Yeah, map. And I want to access this one. This map and the other map is different. Okay, so you can say mapped here. So what will I see on the screen now on the console? if I want to access this property?
Closing round bracket.
It should give me the value, right? If I want to access the property. Something is wrong. Oh, I cannot access like a function, right? This is not a function. What should I do to access property of object?
Create one.
What was that? Dot, and I need to write this syntax. Not working. Previously, I told you that we need to write dot, but with a special character, we cannot do that. Because this property is having special character, that's why we are storing it in a string here. Is there any way? Other way?
It is just a bracket.
Maybe escape character.
No.
Can you define a custom property?
Yeah, I can have like a small parenthesis here, like instead of this one. But I need to later check this with this one actually. That's why I'm writing it here. Actually, you can access it like an array as well. In array, how we are accessing the element value?
Parentheses.
Writing big bracket instead of parentheses, right? Yeah. With array, we can do this with object as well. Now let's see. Let me now write this property name here. Previously with array, we are writing the index number here, right? Now with object, we are now writing the property which is having special character here. Now it is giving me the output of this property. Actually, this is the way how you will access if you have a special character within object. You cannot do dot there. Okay, now I can make all the here. For this one, this will be the valid one. For this one, this will be the valid one. Okay, now it will help you. Now, once you are here, once you start looping it, okay, this is not here. Once you start looping it, then you need to check. Whenever it is opening, we are pushing it to the stack now. Whenever it is closing, once we are in the third one, we need to check whether this closing one is actually the opening one of the previous what are we storing here? Curly, and this should be actually big bracket here, I think, right? Previous element that we pushed in an array or not. Actually, we need to do this. Maybe you can also write closing one here and closing one here and the opening one here, however you want to compare, okay? Do you think you can try it, guys? Okay, let's do it together, and then we'll have another question. So yeah, you can try that one. So here we stored
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Isn't there a way to do it without having to do the const map pair function?
Absolutely, this is not the only way. In programming, there is not always the exact way to solve any question. But there is one thing actually. The thing is, we need to actually compare between two trade-offs. The trade-off is whether it is slow or fast, whether this operation is slow or fast. Okay, if it is fast enough, or you can say that whether this syntax is easy to write or not. Let's say whether there is a small other syntax that you can use instead of this syntax, and that is working. Why are you actually making a pair? Whether there is sort method available or not. That is the first. What you will say. We'll talk about trade-off later. That is the first way of solving. First way you can think to solve any problem. And another thing that you need to remember is whether the method you choose is actually slow or fast, or whether it is taking a lot of your internal processor or memory or not. Means if you are using loops a lot of times, then it will be little slow, right? It will take your memory. It will take some time as well. If you are solving that problem in a single line, but it is taking a lot of time, then that is not a good practice. Okay. And if your solution is having a lot of lines, like 30 to 40 lines, and if it is really fast enough, so sometimes fast enough is also good, but you need to refactor your code. You can refactor your a lot of lines code to shorter version. Maybe you can create functions instead of repetitions. You can do that. That's why you need to actually be in between these two things. You shouldn't actually consume high memory, or you shouldn't actually impact the performance of your server, because actually essentially finally you will run everything in the server where your website is hosting, right? And you should actually refactor your code so that it is the best practice that everyone is following. And that is called actually there is something called time and space complexity in data structure and algorithm. Actually, this is the topic related to computer science, but this is nothing but just finding the proper way to solve something. Okay, when you are creating a loop, then for this current string, it will execute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. If you can do it by executing only once, then you will not have to use loop. But initially, we will not know, right? How do I know whether I can solve it in different way or not? That's why, however you want, try to solve it and later think if there is another way or not. Currently, I'm showing you the mapped pair, but this may not be the best way or the only way. You may have another way to solve this as well, right? Yeah, is that fine? Any question? Can we now start doing it? I think, let me see. Do I have microphone still with me? You guys can hear me? I think I'm losing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I told you this is not the only way, but I'm solving with this way. You can try solving with another way as well. Okay, just try to see if you can do that as well or not. So yeah, we have one map here. What this question is asking you to create a function, right? Let's create a function then. Function. So check. What is this? Check. Write a parenthesis pair. You can say check brackets. It will actually check the brackets or parenthesis. Parenthesis means any brackets, I think, right? Yeah. So you can name whatever you want, right? And essentially we'll pass that string within this function, right? This string. You can store this string in some variable like const given string, something like this. This is a string, and you will pass this given string here, and it will be accepted by this parenthesis check bracket, actually check bracket function. You can write whatever you want here. Given string will be available to string str. Okay, now I will create a map here that we created earlier. Maybe I can go back and copy that map and come back here and paste it. Copy it and go ahead and paste it here. Okay. So, and now this is a pair that we have. We need another location that is called stack to store something. That is just a name, okay? That is stack means empty location, empty array. We'll store something here. So there is something more with a stack, but let's actually not worry about that one. So now we need to loop over this array, right? So what you can do is you can loop with for in and for off, using for in and for off as well. I'm using for loop. Just try using for in and for off. Other loop we have as well. Try to use other loops if you can do yourself. Okay, I'm just using let loop, a for loop. So I'm storing. This is the syntax for loop, right? I need to loop over this array. Means this array is having str dot length. I need to loop over this array. That's why I'm looping over its length. This is just a syntax to loop over the length of that array, or you can say string currently, string. And
you have
inside here,
you have used the same opening square bracket at the end of key value. The mapped pair, the last one.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Let's make it. Let's
No,
make this.
that's correct, but the value is
this one, right?
Yep.
Okay. And we are looping over it. So first, what we need to check is whether that is opening or closing, because now it is looping over the entire string, right? We need to check here if that string I'm getting here is, how can I access the string value? How can I access this value? It will first get this value inside this loop, right? How can I get this here? Inside loop?
str and then index of I.
Yeah, str and the index I. It will actually give me this curly brace here. The first one at the first run. Later it will give me second, third. Okay, eventually at the end. So I need to check if this is, you can store it in some other variable and check it here as well. Okay, this is not the only way, I already told you. So I'm checking if this is actually opening one or not. Opening one is this, right? And there are other opening string as well. So I'm repeating here, which seems to be not good. You can refactor this.
Instead of repeating, can't you just do multiple or after that line do the two vertical lines like the or?
Yeah, we're gonna
That
do
way
that
it's
same.
just in one line.
But it will still repeat, right? We are still writing this twice.
Yeah.
Try to see if you can still do it in some other way. Now you can do.
Oh, I was saying we can make like right beneath that for loop like a new expression like current value, and then put like the str of I.
Oh yeah. Make a variable, right? Current current you can say bracket, right?
Yeah.
And str I there.
Yeah.
Still we are writing that multiple times, right? Current bracket here and here as well. Same thing, but if you have a lot of code here, that will work. That will help. Yeah, this is now much readable than the previous one, right? Current bracket is lesser. Sorry, this one opening small bracket. If current bracket is opening curly bracket, or if we are short circuiting here, okay? So if this current bracket is now this one, now we will do something. What we will do here inside this if?
You're gonna push it into a stack?
Right. I'm gonna push it to the stack. Stack.push will actually push that element to that stack. So I will actually push my current bracket here. Okay. We checked one condition, but we need to actually handle other conditions as well. What are those other conditions? What should I do now after this if? Or do I need to do something more inside if? Actually, this is only.
That's fine with if.
Yeah, sorry. What's that?
I think that's fine with if. I think it's
Okay.
like short-circuiting every string value. That's why if it find among that three, then it will automatically push it into the stack.
Okay, then let's go with else then. Else, if that is not the opening bracket, then it will be a closing bracket, right? Because we are only having opening and closing bracket within that string. Location may be anywhere, but we will only have opening and closing. There will not be some number or other string. So else, what we need to do? Else, can I remove that one from that stack? Let's assume that something is already stored here. Can I now remove that? If that is not the opening one, that may be the closing one. And should I directly remove it from here? Or do I need to check one condition?
You can just remove anything apart from that. Oh, or yeah, you can just remove it.
If I remove this, for example, so let's say that this is coming here, okay? This is coming here. And let's say we have opening one here. Let me write directly a closing one, which is different bracket. Previously, I have added the curly brace here in the first iteration because this is the opening one. That's why this is added in the stack. Now it goes here for the second value. And should I now directly remove it without checking any other condition? This is not matching, right? If it is only matching, then I will remove it. Because this value, this closing bracket and this opening bracket are different. That's why I need to check that, right? Before removing.
So you need to check if it's in the stack.
Right. If
you need to go to the next, keep on reading to the next position, and then stop when you find the first closing bracket to check the condition.
Actually, yeah, this is what we are doing. If it is opening, it will keep on executing this line. It will never execute else. We are writing this condition when it reaches here for this one. Otherwise, it will execute for these two bracket. It will execute the above one. It will execute this line of code. If and else are a condition, only if block or else block will execute at a time. So for this two bracket, this will execute. And now we are reaching here. Just assume that we have already stored these two value here. I'm doing it manually, okay? We are stored these two value here. Now we have closing one, that's why we are going inside else. Yeah.
In line 24, shouldn't it be stacked out push current bracket instead of check brackets?
Oh, sorry. I did mistake there. Yeah, current bracket. Thank you. Where is that check bracket coming from? Do we have such kind of variable?
That's what we named the function.
Oh, yeah. Sorry for that.
I don't understand this function. I want to understand.
This one?
Yeah, what is this?
This is just a function. What you are not understanding here? This is just a function name, and we are calling this function from here.
Like you can name it anything. Like you can name it is balanced or is valid. It's just a name of.
What are you trying to do
right.
in const math pair? What are you trying to do here?
Once you start. Yeah, remove it from here. If you don't know, remove it. Okay. If we need, then we'll create that. Let me move somewhere.
Yeah, makes sense.
Here. Later I'll take back. Okay.
You need it later. Okay.
Because I already told you what we were doing. That's why I'm creating. Otherwise, remove it and just write whatever you need. Yeah.
Hey Gorak, so I see that you have two brackets there on one of your variable name const stack, right? So stack is a variable and you only have two parentheses there. Where's the other parentheses?
No, these are not there. These are, I have added manually to make you understand. Actually, they will not add it manually. They are added by this line of code. Want to see? Let's go. Let's go and try to print it here, down right here. Stack. Initially, that will be empty. Okay. And this function we are calling. That's why this loop will also execute, and this line of code will manipulate this stack. So it will, this line of code will actually put this other one into this stack. Let's see. Can you guess what will I see on the console with this console log? The empty one first.
The first bracket.
Okay, let's try to, let me try to save it here. Still empty here. Oh yeah, here. This one, 1, 2, 3. Opening only. It will store opening only because we haven't wrote any condition for else. If is now storing opening bracket in there. Because where are they coming from? They are coming from here, line 119. We are pushing something into here.
All right. And you have to use the OR gate, I mean the OR logic for this?
Right. If we can actually take any of them, right? If this is their opening small bracket or opening curly bracket or opening big bracket, that's fine. That's why we can take any of them. That's why we are writing OR. If this one or this one or this one.
Why are you not using the AND? Because I have a thinking that like, okay, so if you have this big bracket printed, right? And if you just print like the curly bracket, that will still be true, right? Because one of the statement is true.
If you take AND here, all of them should be present actually here.
Yeah, it should
what this is doing
it has
is
to be like same.
Yeah, what you will store there is, it should be, that string should be, current bracket should contain this one as well as this one as well as this one, 3 at a time.
Oh, okay.
3 at a
I
time,
see.
but 3 at a time is not possible. This is compulsory, right?
Yeah, so that's why you're using the OR one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And if 3 at a time are not present, then it will take the last one, because by default it will short circuit at here. That's why it will only take this last opening bracket, because but we don't want to always use last one.
Thank you.
So yeah, just see, sometimes it short circuit at invalid pair as well. Means if this is not present, it is empty, or it is false, then it will also short circuit there with AND gate. We are using OR. That's why it will either take this one, or this one. If we have some special character here as well, it will not take those, because we are just checking for these 3 brackets here. But I told you that we will not have those things. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you console log after line 19? I want to see what happens.
Oh, same thing will happen, but it will give you 1 at a time. Let's see. But you'll see 3 at a time. Actually, this is regarding referencing. What do you want to see here? Stack?
Yeah, I want to see after line 19 what happens.
Okay, let's print it. So this is a loop, right? For loop. This is executing 1 at a time. So it will execute how many times? 2, 4, 6 times, right? So that's why we are seeing each and every time. This is only executing for this pair. This pair are there, 1, 2, and 3, right? That's why you are seeing 3 console logs here from this line number 20 here. Okay, initially it will store this one. That's why you are seeing this one, right? This curly brace. And later it will store this large bracket as well. That's why we have previous one and the current one. If you expand, you'll see something which is not what you want to see. This is because objects are accessed by their reference reference. That's why I'm saying they are non-primitive. Later we'll see what is this happening. Here I'm seeing curly brace only. Now if I expand, I'm seeing same thing. So this is behavior of object in JavaScript, because objects are stored in one location, only accessed by their reference. That's why it will give me the final result here as well. But you can just think about this output for now. It is first storing this curly brace. On the second run, it is storing this curly brace and the big opening bracket. And on the third run, I think this is not on the third iteration, it is on the fourth iteration. For this one, it is storing this opening one. Right? So guys, can you now try to write the condition inside else? If I give you this code, will you try to complete it yourself?
I think the current value of current bracket should compare with the last value of the stack, and if that is equal, then pop out and compare the next one again. Go to the local.
Yeah. Just try to do then. I'll give you some time to practice yourself, or make solution yourself. Then respect to you, everyone. Just try to complete your solution from here. We have some condition to check. I am sending it on the chat. Maybe I can or not, I don't know. Let me try at least. Try to copy it and paste it. I sent you on the chat. Can you able to copy that and paste it on your code? You can try your own solution, okay? I'm not saying that copy my code and do it. You can try your own solution as well. Just try to get a solution.
You want us to do it now?
Right now. I think this is just a condition that you need to check here. You can just try to do it right now. Okay, because we will see different solution from everybody of you, because I'm just sharing my own solution. This is not actually the perfect one, I can say. You will have a better one as well. Okay, I'll just get back to you. If you want to ask me, I'm here, okay? Just ask me anything.
Gaurav, can you send me the index.html code as well?
Oh, okay, sure. Guys, if anybody has completed the solution, just raise your hand, please. I'll come back to you and we'll see. Okay, guys, any progress Ryan, from some of you? Are you able to complete you want the second half inside else? Sorry. Actually, I'm trying to provide you the optimal solution, means the best solution I can try. I'm not randomly picking up the solution, but the most appropriate solution that you will have for any problem. But if there is any other better solution, just guys share with me as well. Okay. Sometimes the approach you are following will be better than mine as well. Are you hearing me, guys?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's write something here inside else. We need to check for the closing one inside else, right? We did opening one for opening bracket inside if, right? This if is just for the opening brackets. We are doing something for closing one as well, right? Right here inside else. What we will do is we will check here if the current bracket which is closing, the current bracket which is closing is actually matching to the bracket. Where is our, now we need that map. We need to actually compare it here with this one. Now I'm bringing it back here. Now we need to create this mapped here. Now we need to check whether that current bracket that you are accessing is equals to that mapped here, and we need to pass that current bracket in here, the other bracket in here. Okay, now we have one problem here. We have one problem. We need to check this check bracket. Check bracket is, let's say, this is, sorry, this is now becoming the, where is our string? This is our string. We are in the third iteration. Third iteration will go inside line number 28 actually. And how can I get this out? How can I actually write it here? Or how can I actually, I want to actually write that large bracket which was opening previously, and current bracket is this one, right? And the previous one is this one. I want to compare with, oh sorry, once again, check bracket, this is current, okay? Current bracket, I want to compare this current bracket, which is the closing large bracket, with the previous one, which is the opening large bracket. So how can I write the previous one here, inside here? Any idea?
You did something earlier.
The previous one, could you repeat that?
Yeah, previous one. I just want the previous one here. Previous one means the previous one which is inside that stack. Currently, the previous one which is inside that stack is on the third iteration. What do you think? On the third iteration, what is the previous bracket which is inside the stack?
The opening big bracket.
Opening big bracket. I want to get that opening big bracket here. I'm writing it manually, but I want it here. Better that maybe any bracket, right?
You just call current bracket?
Current bracket is the closing one actually.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I'm here at this location, okay? But I want that previous which is in this stack.
I-1.
The last one which is in this stack. Yeah. How can we take something from
string length minus
one?
String
string
minus 1.
Stock length.
Stock length minus.
Okay. So stack length minus 1 will give you the last one. Let's see. Let's try to print. Let me write something here for now. So that the error will not come. Let's try to console log here. You can always console log, okay, whether it is coming properly or not. So to see on the console, you are saying you can do stack. And what should I do inside here, right? I want that last one. I want to access that last bracket from the stack. What should I write here?
Length minus 1. Length minus 1.
Directly length. What is that length? We don't have that length variable. Will it work?
String str.length.
Stock.length.
Str given string or stack?
Stack.length.
Stack.length. Let's see. So let's see. Let's see if we are getting the previous one or not. Is this getting the previous one? We are on line number 28, which is actually getting the, you can say which iteration is this. Okay, you can just print here which iteration is this, so that you can see everything in the console. This is actually, we can say ite iteration. So yeah, so you can, it will start from 0 all the way to the length. Now you will see the iteration is here. Let me remove this one. Now we have 0 iteration. In the 0 iteration, it will iterate over the length. That means it will iterate 6 times. That's why 0 all the way to 5, right? Okay. You can write +1 here as well. It will give you first iteration, 1 iteration, 2 iteration, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can print however you want. So in the first iteration, this is stored in the stack. We are printing a stack here and every time from console log here. And on the second iteration, this is coming into the stack. On the third iteration, here, on the third iteration for this string, let me make it slightly smaller, okay? On the third iteration, actually, this is coming out. Actually, we want that exact. That's why this is providing us actual previous bracket, which is inside the stack. Is that right? So we want to check this value. You can store it in some variable, right? So current bracket in stack, you can say something like this. You can write whatever you want, okay? Current bracket in stack or yeah, previous one as well. So just a second, guys. Sorry. This is what we want actually. Now I can write. Can I write current bracket in stack? So let me print this one as well, okay? So that I'm sure that this is also coming properly. Let me console log here, and it should give me mapped pair. Means this is providing me this one, right? This big bracket opening one. It should give me the closing one of that big bracket. It should give me this output. Let's see. Can we refresh it? Can you see opening one and the closing one corresponding together? Here as well, here as well. So all of their corresponding brackets are visible here. If I have something which is not valid, only opening one. Now let's save it. Now what is wrong? Opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, and here we have something not correct. Is this right? We have it is iterating here at here for this small bracket. These are all opening, and on the fourth iteration we are printing the previous one, which is curly bracket, but the current one is actually the large bracket. But it is actually providing their output, their exact output from here. It is mapped over here. This is one thing, but another thing is we need to remove it from that stack as well. Previously I showed you we need to delete that, and at the end our stack should be empty, right? If everything is matching, we should cancel the effect. So is there any other way to access the previous element? This is fine, okay, this is fine. But is there any other way to access the last bracket in the stack in that array, and removing it as well, removing and accessing at the same time? Otherwise you need to remove it manually. Right, stack.pop. Pop will essentially remove it from array. You can try with one example, one simple example. Console log. Let's write hello. This is a string, and we need to store array here. This will make you feel a little bit tedious, as well as this will not feel good initially. Okay, you need to brainstorm sometimes to solve this problem. Let's first try to do something, and we'll later explain what we are doing. I am doing here pop something. So what do you think? What will this expression statement give? Line number 39. Let's see. Let me save it. Hello is not defined. Oh, sorry. I need to provide some element here. 1, 3, 4. These are the elements inside array. And I'm writing pop. Pop means taking something out from the int or
The
from
last element, right?
the last element, this one. Let's see, let me save it. Yeah, we are getting the last element from this line. And you can see whether that has mutated the original array or not. You can check. For example, let me store numbers here equals to that array. Now, let me try to manipulate this number with this pop. Manipulating means it will now affect that array. Now, let me once again console log numbers as well. I'm console logging whatever coming with this line of code. This is an expression. And I'm also printing these numbers here. Let's see. If I save it now, I can see my array got mutated as well. Mutated means something is now removed or added from that array. Now this 4 element is removed. The array is affected, as well as we are actually taking that out of that array, the last element. It means we can use this technique there. Instead of writing stack.length here, what we can now write is, let me remove this entirely. What I can now write here is that stack dot pop, because I want the last index, last element here. You can store it in some variable as well, somewhere here. Const, this is actually the actually we are taking something from our stack, from our array. Means array is only including opening bracket, right? Opening bracket, you can say this is opening bracket, and opening bracket is coming from stack.pop. Now you can just map the opening bracket and get their closing bracket. So the opening bracket of we are currently here, opening bracket of this big bracket is, let me remove this invalid one for now. Opening of this big bracket is this one, the closing one, right? So it will give you, actually this expression is now giving you, this large bracket actually. So now I'm writing this one, mapped pair opening bracket is giving you the closing of the big bracket, and current means we are on which iteration currently? Here inside else. For the first else, we are in which iteration? First, second, third?
Third.
First and second are for if, right?
Yeah.
Closing one is for else, and the first closing one is for in the third location. That's why we are in third iteration. For third iteration, we will have the current bracket, this one, closing one. That's why here is also the same bracket. They are matched here. Okay, they are matched, and we are successfully checking the valid pair here. If there is not a valid pair here, if you have some closing different bracket, now you will have that different bracket here, and previous one from stack is here, and these are not valid, right? So we have invalid condition here. So we are checking if they are matching from the stack or not. We are checking the valid or invalid condition here inside that if. So what you can do is, if I need to go back, we need to dynamically calculate for each and every one, right? If this is equal, then that's fine. But if this is not equal, you can write not equal for this, writing this exclamation. Okay, this is not equal condition, syntax. So if that is not equal, then you don't have to do anything. Just get out from this function. Get out from this function and say, hey, this is invalid. Because if you get that some condition where you find the previous one in the stack is not equals to the closing bracket here, then you can say this is completely invalid. You don't have to check any other condition, right? You don't have to go and check any other brackets anymore. If this is not matching, you can say, hey, I need to get out from this function now. And you can write return and you will return something, will return is valid true or false, right? You'll return false from here. And this return will take you out from this function entirely. Want to check? Let's see. Let's write curly brace here, and we don't want to print a lot of console logs. We want to actually print what is the result coming from this function. It will give me false. It should give me false, right? So let's store it in some variable, is valid variable, and let's check that is valid. And you can already see it is only running 3 times, right? In the output. Why is this running 3 times only? We still have 3 left, 3 other character left. The loop should run 6 times, right? Why is this only running 3 times here?
Well, it finds an invalid closing bracket, and then it
it finds
from transforms.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Thank you. So it finds invalid characters for the 3rd iteration. That's why it will not run for the other characters. That's why it is only running 3 times. You can print whether that valid is false or not. You can say your string is, and you can dynamically insert JavaScript here. This is template literal, right? We introduced it yesterday, I think. And now it says your string is false. If I have, you can return any other things from here as well, right? If you can return, we can return valid, something like this as well. And see your string is valid. Oh, this is invalid, right?
Valid, yeah.
So your string is invalid. So yeah, if I have a valid one, if I have this valid, now how many times do you think we'll see this iteration coming in the console? Currently we are seeing iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, iteration. Now how many times do you think, how many iterations we will see?
6. 6.
Yeah, 6. It will check for all of them because it cannot find invalid. So if it is not finding invalid,
line 28. After else.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Let's first see. Yeah, it says, oh, this is undefined. Why am I getting undefined here? This is another question. I'm calling that function getting undefined. Let's go make it somewhere up. I'm going to, okay, yeah, we can now see function called here. And our function is here, starting from here. When our function is giving us undefined?
Line 37. Okay. 19. I don't know.
No. I mean, why will you get undefined from a function? When will you get undefined? Not in this case, in general.
Oh. If it's a false value, right?
No,
Because
if it is a falsy value or truthy value, doesn't have to do with function. It is actually needed for
specify the return type.
Right. If you are not giving return statement from your function, then your function will by default return undefined. But you can say, hey, you are giving return statement on line number 28. Isn't that correct?
Yes,
but this will never execute. This is only for invalid character. Currently, this is never executing. You can write console log here. You can write I am running for invalid character, something like this, and this will never execute because there is no invalid character, right? You can see this is never showing that console. If you have one invalid character here, now this will execute here. So this return statement is never executing. That's why it is not coming from that function, not working for that function. You need to have another return. There may be multiple return. Yeah, after which line?
Number 32.
Oh, right. Number 32. Because this is closing this function in number 33, I need to go there and write return, and I can now write valid, right? If this is not going here, means this is valid, isn't that? Isn't that correct? But we need to check another condition as well. But currently, this is valid, but sometimes we will have some situation where we have something like let's not give anything here. Okay, and let's see. It is still valid. No string, but it's still valid. So this is not, we are not passing anything. Still not valid, right? We need to check that one, but it's still currently, if you are passing something, you will get either that is valid or not. Yeah, somebody asking me which line number 26?
No, it's fine. I understand now.
Okay. So if you don't pass anything here, means let me try to pass some invalid one. This is opening one here, opening curly brace here, and it will close inside here. This is not valid, right? It should close right here. Cannot close in these two locations. So if I save it now, and yeah, we are getting invalid character. That's fine. That's fine. So we are getting invalid. You can try for multiple one. This is invalid. But if you do not have a string at all, then it is still saying valid. This is very simple, right? If you don't have, if it is empty, then say that is invalid. You can conditionally return here, right? What do you need to do? You need to write stack. How can we check our our stack is empty or not, or any array which is empty or not?
Isn't there like
check the length?
Empty.
Yeah, length will, there will be no length, right? You can write stack dot length. If that stack dot length is so if that stack of, yeah, if that stack dot length is equals to 0, you can say. I'm writing something here. Can you understand this syntax?
Ternary operator.
Yeah. Can I write this invalid? And
I
valid
think it's
here?
valid. No. Valid is true, invalid is false.
Yeah, right. If stack dot length is equals to 0, then that should be invalid or valid?
Valid.
Why?
Valid.
It should be invalid, right?
Everything is matching.
Or maybe I'm just lost here.
Valid.
Yeah, this should be valid because we are removing everything, means we are checking. We are actually here. What we are doing is we are checking our stack is empty or not. It should be empty, right? We should get all of those elements out. If any other pair is left there, any other parenthesis is left there, then we cannot say that our string provided is valid. So we need to check that condition as well. So if that stack.length is equals to 0, then it should be valid, else it should be invalid. So we need to check multiple things here. What you can also do is, instead of this line, you can write if stack.length is not equals to 0, you can write this one as well, and return invalid. If the stack should be empty as well, stack should be empty. Or you can check another one as well, and or you can write or here. Our string, where is our string? Should not be empty as well, given string. So here, given string dot length is equals to 0. If that string length is also 0, then it should give me invalid. Now finally, I will return if every other condition are not met, then we will have a valid string from here, valid result from here. So now I think this is foolproof check. Every checks are completed. Let's finally check our string is not valid. Why is that? Currently it is empty, right? If I now have a valid pair here, it should be valid, right? Now it says your string is valid, running 2 times. Right? If I now write the valid pairs, these are all valid pairs. Now this is valid. If I have one invalid character somewhere here, now this is not a valid. Okay, this is the solution for this one. Are you thinking of a better solution than this? Maybe you should try this one yourself instead of writing my solution, I think. Okay, guys. Any question?
Can you paste the second half of this solution? That way, if we like find our own or try it on our own, we can compare it.
What was that? What should I do?
Like, can you paste the second half of the solution? That way, if we write our own, we can like compare it.
Second half means I will provide you the whole
Or the
one.
whole
Okay,
thing,
will it
yeah.
work? Okay. Okay, I think I haven't taken a break. Do you want some break or do you want to continue, guys?
Let's take a break.
Maybe 5 minutes break.
Oh, yeah, let's take 5 minutes break and we'll continue. Thank you. Yeah, I sent it on the chat as well, okay? Guys, can we resume our session now? Are you here? Okay.
Yes.
I guess so. I will start React now. We'll implement same thing in React, or we'll move simply this thing to React. There is no big deal with React. Actually, everything in React is JavaScript, implemented with JavaScript. Now we'll move this JavaScript code to React. Instead of printing something on the screen here, we'll print something on the browser. Okay. So open your React project then and start your live server. Can you do that, everyone? So those who cannot do this,
Sure.
just ask me, okay? And those who are coming from other programming language or coming from computer science background will feel this little comfortable here, feel these things. But those who are very beginners in programming will need to write a lot of console logs and see what is happening with this line of code. Okay, this is not hard for you, but you need to actually spend some time here. You need to see each and everything in the console. What is happening? Why this is right? Why am I writing this line of code? You need to actually ask yourself a question instead of just finding a solution, I think. Okay, so I'm copying this one from here. I will paste it in React. So let's go to React. Can you guys move to React if I ask you start your React project? Can you raise your hand who cannot start React project? Who don't understand if I ask you start your React project? I'll guide you guys, just ask me, okay? Okay, if you want to go to React.
Yarn start?
Start, yeah, yarn space start to start your server.
I thought you said only yarn should work.
Yarn is to install dependencies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And are you feeling difficulties with today's lecture, guys? What is the suggestion for me? We are starting solving some problems. We started from
Just need practice.
Yeah.
If you can give more questions.
Yeah, I want to go and cover many. Oh, I'll give you a question then before coming into tomorrow's session. Just think about it. Maybe that will work, right?
Yeah, we can offset it.
Yeah. So I'll give you a question in the bootcamp portal. You see it there today, okay, or tomorrow, and I will attach some questions there, and the same questions we are gonna actually cover in this session.
Makes sense.
So I want to cover all the concepts from many different fields. That's why I'm covering some real world problems or those problems which will help you to actually better make your skills better solving problems. That's why I'm starting from these questions. I can start very basic questions by creating and accessing properties of object or arrays. I think we will spend a lot of times. We cannot do all the different questions from different fields. That's why I'm starting, and it will make you feel a little not comfortable. That's why try to do it yourself. Yeah, I'll share those problems today. We'll do the same problems tomorrow. So this is a React project. You need to go inside. Currently, I'm inside basic React. The React project is inside basic React. There is assignment. Connecting GitHub is having nothing. So I need to go inside. Later, I'll create a lot of projects. A lot of other projects. And I'll also tell you guys the way that we followed previously. Wrote yarn create React app to install.
I didn't mean to hit you like that, okay?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were trying to ask. Oh, okay. What I was saying is later I will create other projects, other folders as well. And at that time, I will tell you the way that we were following previously, the syntax that we were writing previously to install React is not a good way. There are actually better way. And why we are actually following this syntax previously, I'll just tell you what we need to do eventually. Okay. Previously we wrote yarn create react app dot create react as is the app is the official boilerplate provided by Facebook team. Actually, that's why we followed it. Later we'll see the better one. Okay, for now we want to go inside basic React. Yeah, I will write yarn start to start the live server. Let's put this. Maybe I can click and put this on the left. I don't have anything. Okay. Now I can put this on the left and this one on the right. And my server is started. I will delete everything from here for now. I'm starting from scratch. Okay. I told you guys, we will do all the things inside which folder? Inside React. Which folder should we choose? Or inside which folder should we go?
SRC app.js.
Yeah, inside SRC, and file may be anything. app.js or app.css or index.js. We'll add eventually a lot of files here. So actually, which one is the first file which will execute in this SRC folder? There are three, right?
Index.js.
Index.html.
It is not inside SRC. I'm talking about files inside
the
SRC.
HTML file.
Yeah, that will actually execute at first, but there is no HTML inside SRC, right?
It's in public, I think.
It's index.js.
Yeah, I'm asking which file inside SRC will execute first.
Oh, index.js.
It's index.js. Yeah, right. Why is index.js executing initially? Why is that?
Because it's connected to index.html.
Directly, right?
Yeah.
Through this syntax. This is the first file which is connected to index.html directly. So that's why it is executing first. And which is the second that is executing? Second file. We have two more.
In SRC?
Here. Yeah, inside SRC.
App.js.
Index.html.
No, index.html will execute at first, coming from public. The first file which is executing is index.html, and that's fine. Now we'll talk about this thing here. And you told me app.js. Why is that? Why app.js? Previously, let me get back this code. Okay, app.js. So why this code is execute? Why this file is executing? Why is this the second file which is executing? Okay, we can connect other to index.js as well. Let me create another file like contact.js, contact.js, and let's connect it to index.js here. I can write contact, and contact here. Now this is also connected to index.js. We are not sending it, but we are connecting it. Still, which file do you think will execute?
I still think app.js is going to work. Is connected.
Only if it is connected, or do we need to see something more there?
It needs to be connected because maybe line number 7 is the one that connects. I don't see what's written.
No. Yeah. Line number 7 is connecting with index.html.
Oh no, fine. In the index, yeah. Inside the root.render, you written app.
Yeah. We are writing app there because we are sending app to index.html. We are not concerned about sending something to index.html. I'm just asking you which file will execute in order. So first index.sjs will execute, right? Because this is actually starting index, starting JavaScript file. Now we have 3 more. So whether app.js will execute or contact.js.
App.js.
App.js right now.
And why is that?
Because we are rendering the app.js file, importing it from the app.
What if I do not render it here? Now, which file will execute?
App.js.
Why?
I think it's just going to the hierarchy of the name and the base of the name of the alphabet of the file.
File name. No, file name doesn't have to do with execution. Name can be anything. Let's see then. You can go to function here inside console. There is easy way, okay? We'll fix this because I commented this one, that's why issue is here. But what I will do is I'll remove everything from here and console running app. And I'll write in contact console log running contact. So which one do you think you'll see in the console in order? Running app first or running contact first? Which will run first? That's what I was asking. Which one will execute first?
Running app.
Why? Why running app?
I think
You
it's
save it. Yeah, you are right. Let's go here.
For contact.
Yeah, before contact. Somewhere here. It is coming. I told you previously, our code will execute from top to bottom, not randomly, okay? So it will execute line number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If I change their position here, oh, what happened? If I change, I need to press Alt and up. If I change their position here, now app will execute after contact. Can you say that? Contact will execute first,
so, yeah.
and then app. Let's see. Yeah. This is the basic flow, okay? Always we will execute something from top to bottom. And there are something we need to figure out in React. That is always not the case. Always in React, everything will not execute from top to bottom. There are some other cases we need to consider. Okay, one we already considered in JavaScript is asynchronous JavaScript. It will not execute from top to bottom. And one is function as well. Function will not be executed. It should be called. Asynchronous JavaScript will always execute at the end if it is in between. If there is line number 6 is having asynchronous thing, then it will execute at the end. And there are something more in React as well. But do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Which file will execute in order?
Yes.
Okay, then let me go back. And once again, I'm removing. I need to, what is happening? It's not a DOM. Oh, yeah, I removed everything from here previously. Let me get back. Okay, let me delete this for now. Now we are left with app.css. Can we say app.css will execute after app.js?
Yeah, I think so,
Yes.
because it's imported within app.js, right?
Right. It is imported within app.js. That is what we need to see. Because app.css is a part of app.js, you can say, right?
That's correct.
Can we say that? Yeah. That's why it is a part of app.js. Means parent will execute first and their child will execute later. Can I say parent and child? Will you understand?
Yes.
Or you can say that it is a part as well. That's why it will execute first and this will execute later. Okay, this is just a flow that I want to make sure you are getting it properly or not. Now let's go inside. Let's remove everything from here. But why is this error coming? Did I do something wrong? It should work, I think, right? Why is this saying that target container is not a DOM element? It is imported here and it is rendered from here. And it is returning something here. I think everything is fine here, but let me remove everything and try one thing here. Oh, this is not working. All right, for now, actually, it is saying that this issue because it cannot find this app here. If I write div here, div with something hello should give me okay. Oh, I need to fix this first then. And there is some issue that we need to fix. Everything is fine here inside index.js because we are sending in this location root and we are rendering root. We are rendering something in there. This is fine. And inside app we are not writing anything, but we are not linking it as well, right? I don't know why this is. Let me restart it and let's see. Maybe I'm missing something which is really simple here. Sometimes I cannot see something which is really simple thing that is mistakenly done. Let me search, and at that point, when you face a situation as well, you cannot find something what is wrong within your code. You can just copy whatever you see on the error. Okay, you can just copy and paste it here somewhere in the Google. And most of the time, you want to go inside Stack Overflow.
You need to import in index.js. Import app from app.app.
But now I'm not
a line
using
between
app, right?
2 and 4. You need to import another app. You need to import app.
Where? Here is some error, is it?
Yeah, you need to import app from app.
Why is that? I need app here because, right?
Yeah, you need to import that, yeah.
But I'm sending only hello. I don't need app.
There you go. You need to do this. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe something. It is showing me this line. Maybe something is wrong with this line. React DOM.create. Oh, I've removed this create root. Where is this create root above? React. It is coming from React DOM. That's right. It is coming from React DOM.create root document.get element by ID. Oh, here is app and here is root. Yeah, these are not correct, right?
Oh, yeah.
The name should match, right? Here is root and here is app. You need to write the exact name because where is the location? Where do you want to send this DOM? That's why it is showing you this error. Target container is not a DOM element. This container that you are targeting, is it the DOM element? Because it will select the DOM element from your HTML. And your HTML is actually here. And this is actually the DOM element. And you are selecting that DOM element with ID app. There is no DOM element with ID app actually. That's why you need to write root here. And now it will match and it should work. Yeah. It's working. Get this and these were not correct previously. Sometimes you can see the error result as well. Maybe it will give you some hint. Okay. And if I saw here previously without solving this problem, I may see somewhere here, I may see some of this line and figure out whether they are correctly written or not. Actually, that was the error with this one. Okay, so what I was saying is I can directly write HTML in there and it will show me hello. or I can send that HTML from a function, right? Can I send it? What I'm trying to say is, can I do this, guys? Let me do it here, okay? I'm going with the very basic things actually. These things you'll actually not see anywhere in the documentation maybe, because these are self-understanding things, but these are important, I think. So can I make a function, right? This is like print hello, something like this. And now this function will return this div actually. Can I write HTML within JavaScript function? Will it work in React? Will it work?
I think
Not
so,
sure.
if it's JSX.
Yeah, with
But
Create
JSX
React
is
app, you can, yeah, you can use it. For example, let's try to print that print hello here and save it. And you are seeing something which is not actually you want to see. This is called JSX element, not HTML element. That's why it has some properties as well. But you can write it, okay? You can write it. Sometimes you will see you can only write inside JSX. Later we'll see that with Vite there is another tool called Vite, similar to Create React App, and that is the better solution as well. Actually, we'll see that later. But with Create React App, you can write it anywhere inside JS. So you can write JSX, you can write HTML within JavaScript function here in React with Create React App, okay? And we'll talk about this thing sometimes later. It means it is not directly sending us this one, right? And I cannot write now print hello here. It will not give me that output, right? Can I write it here? What do you think? Will it work? Because we already saw from line number 10, if we console log, whatever coming from here is not this output, right? It is like object here. It is object. Can you see? Can you tell this is an object? Starting curly brace here, right? And it has some property like type of and key, props, ref, type, owner, store, and it has some prototype as well. It is not exact HTML element that you want, but it is object. That's why you cannot call this function. Are you getting me what I am trying to say? But can you do this? If I try to do this now, let me see. Still I am seeing hello here. But previously I told you that this is not providing exact this output. But still we are seeing hello from there. So let's try to paste it in. This is actually basic. We'll start from here. We'll hello text. Here as well, we'll store this HTML. You can see JSX. And now, can I write hello text here? And it will provide me hello coming from there. Or you can write h1. Now let's save it. And I'm getting hello here. So it is working. It means you want HTML JSX here, not HTML, okay? JSX and HTML are similar thing when you are looking it. But when you go inside, when you print that JSX, it will become something like this. And we are eventually going to actually see something here. And actually in the browser, you will see this part, children, actually. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, if I now use this print hello function here, and if I save it now, once again I'm seeing hello, but it is printing this result. And let me go and expand this console log and go inside prop. Once again, children is hello. It means we are seeing children here from that JSX. So this is really important point. You will actually print the children in the browser window. children of the JSX. And this is also called children as well as child. If you know HTML a little, you may have seen that this is called child element or content. This is also called content. In React, we will say this always are children, okay? So whenever I am saying children, you need to understand I am referring to something inside between this opening and closing part, this part. Okay? So if I go to index.html, if I ask you what is the children of the div element, then what will you say? What is the children there?
Root.
Root.
Root is the children. Where is the location of children?
Line number 7.
Yeah, line number 7. But where should I look? Somewhere
inside the double quote.
No, not inside double quote. Let's go here.
No, there's nothing, right? No children.
Nothing, right. There is nothing. Yeah. You need to see here.
Yeah.
There is nothing. So children is empty, you can say. And we use this term children in React a lot. As this is important, okay? Later I'll actually pronounce children a lot of times and you may not understand. So just understand that children, it means this part. And children will be printed on the screen. So yeah, this is the children content.
Is it only inside div or, sorry, is it only inside div?
It can be anything. It can be any HTML tag.
So hello is also a children of h1 tag.
Right.
That's
I write hi here. This is a children of h1 tag. Okay. So it means this is printing a children. This render is printing a children. Okay. But in React, okay, guys, any question until now?
Yeah. So can you just call print hello? Do you need
sorry, can you?
Do you need the curly braces around print hello over there?
Print hello where on which line?
Sorry, within the render root.render, do you need curly braces around that function?
No, this is JavaScript actually. Okay. We will directly write here.
Okay.
So you can either pass your, actually what are we passing here at this location?
JSX.
JSX, right? You can tell HTML as well if you understand JSX. So HTML element, right? Tag, something like this, h1, something like this. You can directly write your HTML here as well, and it will come in the screen. Or you can supply it via some function as well. That's what I want to say. So actually, this is not a good way to pass something here. React has their own way, and they call it a component. Actually, they are just calling it a component. They have some special things regarding component, but component is nothing but a function. I told you previously, if you remember. And we can convert this component. We can convert this function a component. What should I do? Line number 6. I need to make it starting with capital letter. Just a convention, okay? You need to follow this convention. This is called component now in React. What I changed, just created a, make it small letter to capital, just that one. And we render this in different way now. It will still work if you try to do this. It will, oh, something is wrong. What is that thing? Print hello, where is print hello? Here on line number 10. Remove it. It is working, but now React has their own way of doing this. Okay, now we will not call our function by our traditional convention. Now we will use the syntax of component in React, and instead of calling this function, this is really important, okay guys? So instead of calling this function, we will write it like an HTML tag. HTML tag starts with this line of code, right? And now I'm going to write print hello instead of div h1, something like that. I'll write print hello here. And now I will self-close this one. Self-close this. We saw this syntax. Or later we'll write something like this as well. Something like print hello as well. So we replaced
there
our
wasn't much, just some of them. The form was not, and apart from that, some of the forms were which were in production was not there in DR.
Oh, I think it is not me. Yeah, can you remove please?
And just some minor differences, and the only major.
Okay.
Done.
So yeah. What I did here, I think I lose something here. What am I saying? Oh yeah. What I did is instead of writing div, your traditional way of writing something here, I replaced it with print hello function. And this is called component. Line number 6 to line number 8 is called component. And this is called rendering component. Okay, I have two words for different things here. Instead of calling it a function, I'll call it what?
Component.
Component, yeah. Instead of saying this, calling a function, what will I say here?
I forgot.
Yeah, rendering a component. Function means component. Calling function means rendering component. We'll replace this two term, okay? Function with component in React. And calling means rendering in React. If you understand these basic things, then life will be easier with React now. Now let me see, let me save it. Still it is working, right? Now I don't have any content here inside. I can now self-close this one if there is no content. This is called self-closing tag in React. Okay, guys.
What does it mean by this line number 17?
It is similar as calling that function. Later we will have special attributes that we can use here, because if you remember with your div tag, if you have div tag in HTML, can I write something here like class? Yeah, we'll write our own attributes here later. We'll create our own attribute similar to this class. That is the benefit actually. Okay. So yeah, we are eventually seeing it, so it will make sense. And yeah, I can call it any name, right? Right. This can be anything. I can call it app as well. Doesn't matter, right? It's the name of the component. And this is where app is coming from previously. Now let me place this app here. And I'll import it here now. Because I removed it from here. Just separating the concern. I can write it here in the same file as well. But let's separate the concern. That is a separate component. Let's put it in other file and just import it here. And now let me import app from app. Something is wrong. It says default import was, oh, I need to export it from here as well. In order to import something, I need to export it. So I need to send it to somewhere, okay? I can now take it from anywhere. I can write export default app syntax. This is a default export. We'll see eventually named export as well. We already saw it previously. But in order to import it somewhere, we need to export it. Now let me save it. Now it is working. And this is the whole thing about React. This is the very basic. The whole thing means the basic way of rendering something on the screen. Yeah. Are you understanding it? Any question?
All clear.
Okay. So now I separated the concern. Let me remove this one from here as well. Later I'll add a strict mode. This is something we need to write actually in React. So we have some code here. Let's understand this code. Why am I writing this line? Line number 1. Is React used somewhere? React variable?
No.
Can you see React? No, we don't need this line then. Remove this one. So why are we writing this line? Line number 2. Are we using React DOM somewhere?
Line number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. React DOM is actually a package coming from React DOM itself. Here, React DOM / client, we are importing something from here. Actually, React DOM client is available. If you import without /, then it is coming from node_modules. Okay, it is coming from here. You will start scrolling here and you will find React somewhere, React DOM somewhere here, right here. Okay, from here we have client, right? So we are importing something from here. This is package we already installed. So if you want to import something from package, you will directly write their name, React DOM / client. So we want React DOM to print something on the screen. This is the job of React DOM. Print something on the screen means it will actually render something on the screen. It will communicate with index.html with this ID. You know why do we write this line, right? Recently we made this. We created app.js and we imported and we rendered it. So are every line clear now? Is everything fine? So this is fine with. Now we will not write that much code here. This is all for now that we want to write inside index.js. Let's go inside app because we referenced app here. We can start writing here. Now you can write a component, right? How much time do I have? Okay, I'll take around 10 minutes more. So now can you write component yourself, guys? Component is just a function, right? Nothing. It should return HTML and it should have a capital name. Just a function.
So is it good practice to have each component on its own file or just have them all in one file?
Yeah, it is a good practice to have one component in separate file. Because React is popular of creating this component. The way components means functions, right? Functions means to do something separately. So let's separate the concern. For example, if you want to create a contact page, you will create, if you want something to print in the contact page, you will create contact.js here and write the component there. Okay, so, oh, I think I copied some code previously. I wanted to paste that one, right? Our problem. So let's copy this one here and I'll print this in the screen whether something is valid or not. First, let me create UI, okay? So what I will do is instead of h1, I'll write your string or your bracket pair is valid or invalid. This what I will change later. This will be changed dynamically. Now this will be seen on the screen. I can later change it, change the color, change the background, however I want, right? So where should I insert JavaScript here? Previously, do you remember I told you where can I write JavaScript? In this component? Within this component?
Before return.
Before return, after curly brace here. You can write JavaScript. Let me copy the code I sent you on the chat. This is the code I sent you on the chat here. Lots of code. Yeah, it is valid here. I am writing. This is not a good way. Later I'll refactor it, but I'm pasting everything regarding JavaScript here. And yeah, is valid is here. Now what should I do? I need to make this dynamic, right?
Yeah.
What should I do here?
$sign.
$sign is only for template literal backtick.
Yeah.
Here we'll only write curly brace. This is interpolation. In JSX we'll write curly brace only. in that backtick in tabulator we'll write dollar with curly brace. Okay, don't be confused.
Yeah.
Inside a string we'll write dollar, inside JSX we'll write curly brace only. So here I'll write is valid. If I save it now, it says your bracket pair is valid. Let's see if it is valid. Yeah, this is valid. If I have some invalid pair here, if I save it now, it says invalid. Okay, but this is not good. I have a lot of code here. This concern is separate, right? The main job of this code is to calculate, to give us the result only, right? We are only concerned with the result. We solved the problem already, right? Now we are only concerned with the result here in React. So why should we write it here? Let's write it in some other, let's put it in some other files or folders. I'll create something called utils folder for utility functions. You can write any name, right? In real world, you'll find such kind of folders. And here I'll write is valid.js. You can write any name there as well. And let me paste it here. Okay, so yeah, this is all code regarding to this one. I don't need console log here. Now, what should I do? I need to export it from here, right?
Yeah.
So I need to import it there later. Export default is valid here. Now I'm exporting is valid here. From here, I need it inside app.js. Now I'll import at the top always. Import. Actually, you can write JavaScript before function name as well, but it is good practice to write JavaScript within curly brace before the return if they are related to component, otherwise some in other file. So let me import is valid from. Now where should I go? What should I write here? Can you guys help me?
/src
/src and then
src.
Currently I'm inside src. I don't want I don't need to go inside src. Utils, yeah, utils, and then
slash
is valid. Now I used inside here. Now once again it is working, right? So is valid is actually the variable. I can send function itself from here as well, like check bracket. Like just send. I'm sending this function. Now I'm just sending. This is a function. Okay, check bracket is a function here. Now I'll supply it from there. So let's go inside app.js and I can write any name with default export. Let me write the same name, check brackets from here. Now what I should do is pass that or I will now do it here. This is a function, right? I need to call it here. This is a function. I just exported the name of the function. I need to call it when I want to use it. And I want that string as well back. So const, you can say bracket, or you can say, yeah, bracket string, something like that. And let me write some pair. Now I need to pass this bracket string inside here. And finally, I will now store the result in isValid. Is valid, and I will now print it here. Let me see if it works or not. If something is wrong, given a string is not defined. Where is that given string? Maybe I printed somewhere here, right? Oh, let me find given string. Oh, here. So I don't have given string currently, but that string is str actually. Whatever coming in the function is str instead of given string. Okay, now it is working. Valid here. So I can now change this one to another curly brace, and this is invalid. Now it is working. Some consoles are coming here. Usually we don't want consoles. In production, we'll remove all of the console. here, right? I can select this one, type Command or Control D multiple times to check all of these. Control Shift K to remove all of these from here. This also be removed now. Yeah. And now this is a pure utility function, which will give you whether that character is valid or not. We will pass that character directly from here. This is the bracket pair that you want to pass as a string. You'll call this function here and you'll get the result, printing the result. Okay. This is how we work with JavaScript and React together. Now, yeah, now we can make this beautiful however you want. Like, let's connect with CSS. So we want to import our CSS here. Import, we will directly import app.css. And let's go to app.css and let's write something for S1. Maybe I can put a class here. Class name I need to write, right? And inside here, this is like peer result. You can write anything, right? Valid, or you can write is valid, something like this. Is valid, and I need to write is valid. And now I can write anything, like I can write color to green, and now it is green. Need to configure prettier for this one. Okay. Yeah, you can align the text. Now you can present on the screen. Now you want to make it beautiful, right? You have the life. Now you will make you'll provide some decorations and make it beautiful. This is related to CSS, right? However you want with the CSS. So do you now see the link is between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with React together? If you can feel these things together, if you can see these things are connected together, then you are very comfortable working with React now. It will make sense each and every time when you are writing some code. All right, guys, I think we'll end this session here for today. You want to ask me something? Is this complex? React, JavaScript together? How do you feel? Maybe Pius, you are here. Peter, what do you think? Is it good to move ahead? How are you feeling with this current work with React, JavaScript together?
For me, it's kind of complex, but I think in future classes, it's going to repeat itself, and then we will get accustomed to it.
Oh, okay. Is this Pius?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Here we have Ramzi. Am I pronouncing correctly? How do you feel?
And also, Gorak, can you please push the code also?
Oh, okay, okay. Sure. So I think you understand with this commit. We wrote is valid checker here. Oh, not working because this will not work here. I need to write it all. Commit M and git push. Not working because I'm in different branch here. So I need to, okay, let me push with my one branch. Let's see what happens. I'm pushing code to my one branch. Let me go to GitHub, maybe github.com. Here's the link. And yeah, you will see such kind of message. If you are working with GitHub already, then you know what is this. Because I sent it in GitHub, it is not available in master. If you see the comments here, this is not the commit that I added recently. I sent it in different location, which is this branch, right? What I can do is compare and pull request, create a pull request here. Now this is the request which will now going to merge the changes from my branch to the master branch here. Now I'll create a pull request. Usually in development team, you will need to create a pull request. You may not have these options. Sometimes you may have these options depending upon the setup you have with GitHub. Somebody can merge. What you will do from here is somebody, if you are a senior, then you will review a code, or you will send to somebody to review your code, and he or she will merge this to the master branch. Now this is merging. It is completed, and if I go here now, I have 39 commits. So I think 2 commits are added. Valid checker and the merge status here as well. Okay. Any question, guys? So can we end this session then?
This is in master, right?
This is currently in master, available in master branch.
You just merged it. Okay.
Right. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow then. Have a good day, guys. Good night, everyone.
Sunday, right?
Tomorrow
Yeah.
and day after tomorrow is holiday. Yeah, weekend. Yeah, we'll meet your Sunday, mine Monday. Yeah, we'll meet after 2 days.
Sure. Thank you, Gaurav.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your response. Goodbye. Have a good day. Good night.